think in the UK, we obviously have the same problem with red tape. We have issues with everything from building control when you're designing buildings to the fire regulations, never mind all the red tape involved in the care itself with the CQC. I think what's quite interesting though is housing and care are coming together in a much more positive way. And there is a new report, which is actually hot off the press in the last couple of weeks, put together by what we call an all-party parliamentary group. So it's an advisory group that the government put together to look at housing in the future for older people. It's called HAPPI, H-A-P-P-I, Housing for Our Aged Population, and the PI in different iterations means different things. Out of there, the stakeholders that I would pick, and I would always pick anyway, and it does tend to follow all the views that we all have, is first of all, local authorities. Local authorities need to put older people first in the design and the build and allocating sites for this sort of accommodation. We're finding time and time again, we're getting beaten to the price of the land. We're not being able to pick the sites that we want. So they need to identify that. I think then the two areas that I feel strongly about is developers and older people themselves. With the developers, they and the providers, they need to step up and they need to educate. We need to educate the public about what they want. We need to educate all the other stakeholders about what we want. We know what we want now. In terms of older people, they need to say what they want. And the one thing that's missing, in my view, is strong leaders. In the United States, you've got aged persons groups that are very strong at lobbying. We don't have any lobbying. This all-party parliamentary group struggles. People tend to ignore this HAPPI report. It's been out in different iterations for a few years. So I think it's very, very important that we get leaders in the sector, we get leaders amongst the providers even, that are stronger and put our case more. Yeah. What would I see as the top two elements of design for age-friendly and particularly for dementia? I think the lack of elements within the design that overly stimulate. It's very, very important to have a quiet environment that people are living in, and that's one of the first ones. I think the other one that I would put high on the list, although there's obviously many and there's plenty of articles about this, the other one I would put high on the list is natural light. I've found that it does get taken for granted. We've always built with very high levels of natural light. And it's not just about dementia, it's about depression amongst older people. It's about people who have macular degeneration and getting those levels of light as high as you can. So, and that can be a battle with the developer because you're adding cost to the building. It's not just a simple facade, it's actually putting glazing in. The key message I'd like people to take away, and the one I always start with, is how are we going to reduce anxiety in that building? The built environment for someone with dementia affects them in so many more ways and so much more, if you like, severely, if it's done wrongly, than it does for you and I. Reducing anxiety is the most important thing, and everything flows from there. And the key message from all that is good dementia design is good design.